Welcome to the chapter 2 of MCP course, which is why MCP. This is the chapter 2, and just to rewind, so we have completed the chapter 1 where we have looked into the MCP genesis and how it has created a huge impact on this AI companies and AI world. So now let's deep dive into the MCP why it is required. So ever wondered why everyone is talking about the model context protocol? Well, you're about to discover the USB-C of AI that's transforming how we build intelligent applications. So this is the chapter 2 where we will answer the fundamental questions why MCP. Ready to master the protocol that's changing everything? Let's deep dive into it. So let's look into the core problem. So what's the real issue we are solving here? Here is the fundamental truth that every AI developer faces. Models are only as good as the context given to them. I repeat, models are only as good as the context given to them. It's a fact. It is a fact, a simple present tense. So think about it. What good is the most advanced AI if it can't access your data, your tools, your systems? Without proper context, even GPT-4 or Claude becomes just an expensive chatbot. Sounds familiar, right? So, but what exactly is MCP? So the model context protocol is an open standard that finally solves this connection problem, as we have discussed earlier in MCP Genesis, the chapter 1. Instead of building custom integrations for every single data source, MCP creates one universal connector. It's literally the bridge between AI models and the real world. Your databases, your files, your APIs, your everything. Simple concept, massive impact. So, what does MCP fits? Where does MCP fit in the bigger picture? So think about how REST APIs, standardized web applications, interact with the backend, or how LSP revolutionized the code editors. MCP is doing the exact same thing for AI applications. It is following a proven pattern, create a universal standard that everyone can adopt. And just like those protocols, MCP is becoming the foundation everything else builds on. So next question that arises is, what was the life like before MCP? If without MCP, it's fundamentally a fragmented AI development. So how does MCP, how does it look like without an MCP? It's a complete chaos. It's complete chaos. For every new AI application, developers had to create a separate custom pipelines for each integration. And if you want to connect to Google Drive, you need to have a custom implementation. You need a database access. You need to have a custom integration. You want to have another custom solution. You want to add a CRM, add another bespoke integration. So it was like needing a different charger for every device you own. Exhausting, right? Just look into the screen, you will get much more exhausted. So without MCP, it's a fragmented AI development. So you will have an AI application and you need to have a custom implementation, a custom prompt logic, and a custom tool calls and a custom data access for each and every AI app. You need to keep on repeating, keep on writing, and it's very, very exhausting, and we have been doing that. But now there is a hero who come in to change everything. We should thank that guy. That's our MCP. So now what changed? That's the next question that comes into the picture. So how does MCP change everything? So one application, but the multiple connectors. That's crazy, right? Of course you will enjoy because you have suffered before. It's fine. So one application, multiple connections through a single standardized interface. Your AI application talks to the MCP protocol, which then connects to any number of specialized servers. Build once, connect to everything. How brilliant it is. Build once, connect to everything. It's that simple. So no more custom integrations, no more reinventing the wheel again and again. So that's how you can see this particular infographic. So you can have a standardized AI development, MCP compatible application, and you can have a data store MCP server, and you can have CRM MCP server, you can have version control MCP server, and this one server, you can build one server, and this one server can connect with various data sources. That could be databases, NoSQL, or another type of databases, etc, etc, etc. One data store MCP server can be enough to connect with multiple ones. And similarly, you have the CRM MCP server, which can connect with multiple CRM systems. It can do multiple tool callings. It can use multiple tools, multiple prompts, and multiple resources. And you have the version control MCP server, and again, it can connect with the version control systems. It can take care of the commit changes and resolve conflicts and manage branches. So it's crazy. It's basically standardizing the AI development. So that's is happening. The next question that comes is, what are some examples that we can see with the MCP servers or that we can build? So MCP servers are fundamental, but what kind of servers are we talking about? Think a specialized connectors, a data store MCP server. What it can do, it can query and fetch data from databases. Next, a CRM MCP server for customer management, and a version control MCP server for Git operations. So each server handles one domain expertly, but they all speak the same language. Elegant, isn't it? So they all speak a same protocol standard. So each server specializes in one domain but follows the same protocol standard, and that's where we get all the benefits. Now let's ask the next question. Here is where it gets really powerful. It all comes and trickle down to one thing, that is reusability. So now we will ask a question, what about reusability? One Google Drive MCP server can work with any MCP compatible application. That's the brilliant stuff. Your AI assistant can use it. Your autonomous agents can access it. Even your IDE, integrated development environment, can connect to it. So write once, use everywhere. That's the power of standardization. So now you can see this particular example that you on screen. MCP servers are reusable by various AI applications. So let's imagine you have a 3 assistants. Okay, let's call them as AI applications. Your 3 AI application. One is, but that application should be MCP compatible, which means you should have a client within it. I will explain in detail as we go ahead. Not to worry, just follow the flow. Now, one is MCP compatible AI assistant, and second one is MCP compatible AI agent, and the third one is MCP compatible desktop app or IDE. Now what I have done is I have built a one Google Drive MCP server. I have built only one. Okay, so now this only one Google Drive MCP server can be called by other MCP compatible AI assistant client and other applications too. And this Google Drive MCP server will connect with the Google Drive, and it will fetch all the information as and when requested by the clients which are part of AI applications. So that's the part of reusability that we are specifically speaking. Now let's come to the benefits of standardizing AI development. So basically, who wins with this approach? That's what the next question that arises to your mind. Everyone. AI developers get instant connections to any MCP server, and it reduces a lot of work. And tool creators build once and reach every AI application. And users get AI apps with extensive capability out of the box. That's what is required at this moment, because we are slowly being AI-enabled world. And enterprises get clean separation between teams. So it's a win-win-win-win situation, because it's useful for the 4 people. Just kidding. Yeah. So next, let's look into the growing ecosystem of MCP. But is anyone actually using this? Yes. The numbers are staggering. Over 5,000 server builders and counting AI applications from IDEs to autonomous agents are adopting it. Enterprises are building both internal and external integrations. The open source community is contributing daily. This isn't just hype, it is a movement. Don't fall behind. So I'll take you examples. Even Microsoft is trying to integrate all their Dynamics 365 finance and operations and various aspects using this MCP servers, and they want to connect this in a simplistic way to the Copilot Studio, a Copilot, and that will make things very easy. It will make brilliant agents which can do any task. And similar to that, Google is working on it, OpenAI is already doing it, and majority of these AI-based companies are started using this heavily within it. So that's why it's being adopted very heavily. So don't fall behind. Tomorrow you'll be working on this. You might not know now. So next, what questions do people usually ask? So that's what normally you might get these kind of doubts or questions. That's the reason I've added this one. Who built MCP? That's the first question normally they ask. So anyone can build MCP servers. Often service providers build their own, but you can wrap any API. So how is this different? How is using an MCP server different from calling a services API directly? It's completely different. So MCP servers provide a ready-made tool, schemas and functions. So no custom work is required actually. And if you want to directly call an API, you will be ordering those on your own. And coming to the next question, it sounds like MCP servers and tool use are the same thing. It sounds like, yeah. But standardized and reusable across all the applications. So MCP servers provide tools, schemas and functions already defined for you, standardizing the interface. But of course MCP and API both are not same. Okay, they're all different things altogether, but those are protocols. So that's what is about the common questions. And as we have already discussed, the birth of MCP started in November 25th 2024. That's when Anthropic made a bold move, and they did not announce MCP, they just open sourced it immediately. By December, early adopters joined. March brought OpenAI's adoption. By May, over 5,000 servers were running. 6 months from announcement to industry standard. Has any protocol moved this fast? No, but this has done it. That itself is a revolution. And even Google and Microsoft is also started using it heavily in their applications, and they're trying to integrate this with their ADK and with their ADK, which is Agent Development Kit, and then A2A, that's Agent to Agent Protocol too. So now let's quickly look into the major players which embrace this MCP. As we have seen, OpenAI, Google, DeepMind, Microsoft, Block, Replit, Source Group, JED, Cursor, Windsurf, and many more and many more. So then comes to your real world transformations, what exactly it's doing, what actually happening in practice. So Block is using MCP for internal AI assistants, and similarly Zed and Wix and AI to SQL is connecting their models to databases with a natural language. How fantastic it is. Now, as we have already discussed, so MCP isn't not just a protocol, it's the foundation of the AI connected future. Just brace yourself to get into this world. So then comes the simple question, so why MCP conquered this world? So it's in the right timing and right company, because it has a good developers credibility, and then right strategy, and then right design, as we have discussed all these things in our first chapter 1, the genesis of MCP. So now the future is connected, and the future is connected. So basically the MCP is connecting your LLM application or your AI application with the internet. So that's how your future of LLMs are connected, and that's why I'm calling this. Then, so the final question that I would like to say, so what we have learned so far, you now understand why MCP exists, why it is required, and why we have adopted, how it solves the fundamental context problem, and why it is becoming the universal standard, from fragmented custom integrations to the standardized connections. That's the MCP revolution. Ready for the next video, where we dive into the technical architecture. The future of the connected AI starts here.